She said to do that on the show.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Do you remember?
Do you?
What's up, Rachel? I don't remember.
Oh, right here.
Where?
Edit privacy. You have to go out and go to it and then public.
Go to what?
To here, where it shows before you get in it.
On my thing.
Yeah. There.
Okay.
And then the 3 dots up top.
Oh, gotcha.
And privacy. All right, guys. We're coming. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's Thursday. I'm Angela.
And I am Ron.
And we are
Chatter of Opinion.
Thanks for joining us today on this fine Thursday.
Fine Thursday.
School here in Albuquerque just started yesterday.
Yes, it did. And I'm glad I ain't got no cheering up in no school right now.
Me too. One of my PMs today came into my office.
Okay, and the PM is?
Project manager.
Okay.
I'm lying. It was yesterday. Yeah, because school started yesterday. And he was talking about like the new time that they implemented in Albuquerque. And he was like, oh, it's going to be so hard because now their kids have to be dropped off at 7.
Oh.
Well, in construction, we either start work at like 6, 6:30 or 7. So now he has to stay late. I think he shares custody with their mother. And so on the weeks he does have them, he now has to come in late and stay late.
You know what? So, I saw that on, I think it was a news channel, and they were talking about kids starting school. Some of these kids start like 9. Well, some of those at
so
like 9.
I think my nephew who's in high school, I think they start at 8, like 8:30, 8:45. I feel like it should have been the other way because I feel like the older kids, you should be getting them prepared for the workforce.
Okay.
Right? So they should be up and starting earlier. And the younger kids, what do they need to be there so early for?
Well, does the workforce, is it old school now from 9 to 5 or
No. That's what I'm saying. Why would you make them go later when most work starts at least by 8, not 8:45, 9 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Right? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know who they asked.
Who did they ask
about this, but
yeah. So today's topic, we are talking
Crystal
about
said 8:30.
School expenses. Yeah, she's up there.
Oh.
School expenses.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When it comes to your kid showing up for the first day or even before school starts, you get a list.
Yeah.
We've always had them since I was in school, but it wasn't as expensive now as it used to be. The biggest thing that we used to do is have to do when I was growing up is bring 2 boxes of tissue.
That's it?
Yeah, you had your own supplies,
right?
But you didn't have like a gangster box of anything.
No.
You was considered lucky if you had a 24 pack of crayons. You know what I mean? You normally had like the 12 pack of the basics, and I might be showing my age, but
you are.
We didn't have all the special colors.
We did. We had like the basics, but we had like crayons, like at least the 12 or 24 pack, and then I think the crayons was 24 pack, and the colored pencils were the 12 pack.
Okay.
Like you had to have like that specific. But in my time, we did not share.
No.
You took in your own stuff. You had your own boxes. You would even write your name on your Kleenex and your all of this.
Right. So now in certain places, they have what is considered a communal supplies like list. And if you don't know what a communal supply list is, it's kind of what you bring, the teacher asks you to bring to the class or whatever, and you kind of donate it to the class just in case someone runs out or does not have.
To me, the way I took communal and the things you read on the list, which Ron will tell you guys what's on the list, I thought of it as it's like community stuff that's used, right? Kleenex, like that's not really a specific thing to one person.
Right.
Paper towels, maybe, like
Could be.
those type of things that let me say this, the classroom may use.
Yes. So here's the deal. When I was listening to this before, I thought it was like, no, why should I spend my hard-earned money and have to buy all these school supplies and then give them
For
all
others
to
who
the
don't
teacher?
contribute.
Right. Give them all to the teacher and then they'll divide them up at first. So I was just like, no, there's no way I can go for that until I did some research, right? So when it comes to communal supplies, there's only certain things that fall under that category when it comes to communal. And we'll go over a couple of them. It says normally, but not limited to, when it comes to communal supplies would be pencils, crayons, glue sticks, and tissue.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happens is when the teacher asks you to bring these items and they donate them, they stick them in a certain place just in case a kid does not have the basic necessities for
Right, like a pencil.
yeah, like
pen.
a pencil, crayon, this, that, and the other for the kids to use. Or you know how kids break their pencils or break their crayons and stuff like that. They'll always have something on deck for every student.
That kind of makes sense to me because like books or binders, those can be personalized. People probably pay more based on what they like, things like that. But yeah, like the basics should be shared amongst everyone.
Right. And what they're not asking you to get the name brand, the fancy stuff. They're just saying get some basic pencils or crayons or whatever and bring them in, and then they'll share them with the individuals.
Right.
That
like
need
crafts or little,
What is not for is for somebody not to bring anything and then they just shop or just use all the communal products. That's not what that.
Who regulates that?
I'm pretty sure the teacher will.
I've never ever heard, even when my son was in school back in the day, that anyone was ever called out saying, hey, you have not contributed.
Well, I don't know if you can do that as an educator because of the fact that if that person can't afford.
I hear you, but that's what I'm saying. You're not going to call anyone out.
No.
Right.
But
so there's some people who do take advantage too.
Okay.
Right. And they're like, well, shoot, I don't have to get anything because they have the communal ones.
Right. But you'll ask the individual families to bring that extra for the communal. Right. And then whatever doesn't get covered is my next topic when it comes to the communal supplies. If the school budget does not cover it, they say the average teacher or educator comes out of the pocket at least $500 to $750 a year out of their own pockets to cover supplies for their classroom.
That's crazy because teachers already don't make that much.
Well,
in general.
Okay.
So now you're having to come out.
Yeah, $500 to $750. Yes, and not just for somebody else's kid, for the education of the children, because the school has failed to either budget correctly. Or they don't have the budget at all. You know what I mean? But then again, it's up to the educational system or the educational department to find ways, either like fundraisers or this, that, and the other, to prevent these teachers.
I've never heard a school doing fundraisers.
I don't know. I don't know if they do or not, especially for like the budget.
Why would they come out of pocket when they have the parents and the teachers coming out of pocket?
Yeah, but I would put it out there at the beginning of the year, either before the beginning of the year, to say, hey, this is what our budget is. If you don't think that you're going to cover the budget per your curriculum, then we need to hold like a fundraiser.
They would not.
Probably not. And that's why that's
the point, is they're not doing that because now the parents and the teachers are coming out of pocket.
But I would ask, if they don't come out of that pocket 500 or 750, 500, 750, what happens? Is it the education of the child, or do you have to find a workaround that doesn't require you to have those particular supplies, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
But who are we to tell teachers what activities to do in their?
I'm pretty sure there's a curriculum that they have to come up with, and it has to get approved by the educational system. So you say, hey, I can't do this, this, and this because I don't have the budget, the proper budget, or the supplies to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how it works. If you're a teacher out there and you are listening, chime in and let us know how that whole budgeting thing works.
Or if you're a parent and you know the requirements, chime in as well.
Right. So I actually changed my mind when it came up to the communal,
Communal.
because I think that is kind of fair. I would feel kind of bad if I had like my fancies with my pencils and pens and this, that, and the other, and then my classmate next to me can't afford, so they have
Would
nothing.
you?
Yeah.
I don't know if kids, especially younger kids, think like that. I don't think that they like, oh.
I think that they would share though. Like,
Hopefully,
look, here, you can
unless
share
they're
this.
the greedy little monsters.
Well, normally kids bring like one pen or one pencil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I know younger kids have no problem with sharing their items with someone. But then once again, you're too busy sharing. You're not busy listening to what actually is going on in the class.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
I didn't even think of that. That could be disruptive by the sharing.
Yeah. So if you had something on deck, like the communal supplies, then the teacher could just go in there and grab an extra pencil or pen or crayon or whatever and give it to the individual that is that doesn't have.
So are we going through supplies first?
Yeah, we can go through supplies. Okay. When it comes to school supplies in general, first, my question would be, when you do your budget and you have kids that are in school, right? Do you consider clothing to be a part of your school supplies? And your thing is right there.
Oh,
That's
I keep
why
forgetting.
You shared
it. I don't agree with that. I think supplies are separate from clothing, in my opinion. When someone says, oh, I had to get school supplies, that's, in my mind, strictly school supplies.
Right. So when I did the research, and there was a high dollar figure, like in the $700, $800, and I did the research on it, they said that, per person, they said that school supplies included school clothes and shoes.
Okay, so $700-800 to include clothes. That's not bad. I did see somewhere that for college students, it was more like $1,300 or $1,600. Granted, you have to normally, when they're in college, if they go off to college, you're buying like bedding and their own toiletries and things like that, right? Refrigerators, like that type of stuff. So that makes sense.
Right.
But I wanted to talk about, let me see our thing. What do you guys consider also as supplies, right? So we wrote a list of a few down.
For school supplies.
For school supplies. Paper.
What did Crystal say?
Oh, yeah. Crystal said, I used to get a little irritated with the communal supplies because
some people just plain won't buy supplies. But I don't mind because some people really can't afford them. They are so expensive.
So if you've already shopped this year, if you're willing to share with us what in general you spent on just supplies.
Yeah, how much money do you think just for school supplies?
Is it $100? And we're talking for one person.
Right. And outside of clothing, we're not talking about clothing.
Right.
We're talking about just school supplies and the list that you had to follow or that was required. How much money on average did you spend?
Yes. Okay, so back to what we consider school supplies. We have paper, notebooks, pencils and pens, binders, crayons or colored pencils, erasers, rulers, compass, and what was that called?
A protractor.
Protractor. Backpacks. I consider a backpack part of that. I don't consider that clothes.
Okay.
Calculators, Kleenex, dry erase markers, which I remember that was the one I had a hard time with because I'm like, that's for the teacher. But again, now that I'm not struggling as much, it's like, okay, yeah, let's contribute $10 to the teacher, right? But back then when I was like living penny to penny, $10 to me was a lot. But and paper towels and glue. Right.
Are kids required, like when I was growing up, you had to get that gangster expensive Texas Instrument, calculator.
Yeah.
But now, since you have every kid has a cell phone, you just turn it to the side, like, and
but
then
not always. They don't do all of depending on what level of
cell phone you have.
Yeah, because some of them, when you get to a certain, you do the graphing, and you have to have the graphing one, where it graphs the thing.
Graphs what?
Like the formula.
I guess
yeah, those are. It's like because I took trig, so it's like calculus maybe.
I took basic math.
Okay, so Jeanette says certain things I'm okay being communal, but kids are gross. Oh, that's a good point. And I don't like the idea of my daughter using the same scissors or pencil as Johnny that picks his nose or worse. I agree with that because germs are a big deal now. Germs are everywhere, but certain things I'd rather have only my kids' germs on.
Right. Now is that post-COVID or pre-COVID? Because before COVID actually came out, did anybody care what kind of germs that your kid actually had?
I think a lot of parents do because their kids were always sick. So they probably tried to prevent it as best they could, in my opinion. But you guys tell us. Crystal says now also hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes. You're correct.
Yes.
Probably more since COVID. Jeanette says my daughter needs a graphing calculator for her math class. See?
But is that one of those Texas Instruments, those $100 Texas Instruments? Whoa, okay.
And that's all the time for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I know.
Because like I said before, you used to have to go by and it was a specific calculator. But then now with the cell phones, like I said, you turn to the side.
The cell phones only do up to like a certain level of math.
Well, then if you super geniusy, then you probably need to go get something special. Then you know what I mean.
I just remember I had to pay, or did I buy one, or someone was done with theirs and I happened to get one or something. But
whatever happened to your calculator being a loose leaf piece of paper? You had one on the side and you just did all your math on the side.
Can I tell you guys that now that I'm older, I do a lot of calculations, right? Because I do like financial accounting stuff. On purpose, I will manually do stuff in my head because I feel like it helps keep me sharp because we use technology and to me, it's making me like forget my times tables or things like that because I don't ever use it.
I don't have to calculate nothing for my job.
I forgot like my times tables that are in the higher digits.
What?
Yes, because I don't ever use them. Right? Because you calculate it.
Okay.
Bad. It's not good. And it's also my bad memory too. That doesn't help. But I'm just saying, like, I've lost some of it.
Yes.
All right.
So for the individuals that do have children, you said she's a sophomore. For individuals that do have children, like we asked, approximately how much have you spent on school supplies this year? Is it as expensive as people say it is?
So I'm going to talk back in the day, but again, Zaylen's now 22. So a while ago, I remember spending about $50-$60.
Okay.
But also shout out to Miss Sheila, who's Zaylen's babysitter. She contributed to Zaylen's school supplies, and we had like literally a bucket, like a Tupperware full of school supplies. So that helped me every year to where we had so much that when Zaylen finished school, I passed that
to Kyron
Tupperware down to Crystal and Kyron, and that's, I guess, what Kyron's been using all this time. So shout out to Miss Sheila if you're
Sheila?
watching.
Kiana says, I do mental calculations too, Angela. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I really don't, especially with my job, I don't have to calculate anything because we have a system and we put everything in there and it calculates stuff for us. So I never really had to like carry the one and this, that, and the other.
Well, again, I have a calculator. I have a 10 key, but I do it sometimes manually or in my head in order to just like the practice.
You're doing too much.
I'm just saying. All right. So the question too was, what is being asked for? Is that reasonable? Like I said, at first with like the dry erase markers, I thought at first, like, really, we're supplying that? I just thought that was kind of crazy. Things like that. Like, is there anything that you guys more recent, have been asked to purchase, whether it's the communal or for your students or for your teachers, that you're like, no, that's where I draw the line?
Yeah, because back in the day, you had the basics, the pens, the pencils, the construction paper, you know what I mean, stuff like that. A couple of rims, what do you call it? Reams of paper and stuff like that. But outside of that, I didn't have to buy no dry erase markers or nothing of that sort, which can be pretty
costly.
Mhm.
So Kiana says, don't they buy for the class now as opposed to the individual? Yes. So that's what we talked about initially, Kiana, was that now they have like communal school supplies that are used for the classroom versus like per individual student.
Right, but communal, since you came on after I explained it, doesn't say that you buy everything on the list for the classroom.
Yeah.
What it does cover is pens, pencils, crayons, glue sticks, and tissue,
I think paper towels too.
and maybe paper towels for
That was the one I
sanitary
remember
reasons.
with Zaylen's was the dry erase markers and then paper towels.
Yeah, but the idea of you buying all these items on the list and then buying for the whole class, that's not correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Jeanette says for elementary, they ask for Ziploc bags.
Okay.
Sometimes, but they are used. That's good because I'd be pissed if they weren't used. Dry erase markers are used by the kids because they have, smart boards. What's that?
Oh, boozy classmates.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that is.
What's a smart board?
Smart boards and tablets that they use them on.
That's why they ain't got no budget for the school supplies because they got smart boards and tablets.
She's in Artesia, I believe, right, Jeanette? I don't think you moved. So if you're in Artesia, they hook it up there in Artesia. Tiffany says erase markers.
Yes, I could see that.
Because they no longer use chalkboards anymore, and do they use those projector things? Well, they had the clear paper. They
don't use no overhead
that was
projector.
back in the day, right? Do they use that?
No, they don't bring out they don't wheel out no VCR player either.
So I guess now I'm showing my age. We used to have that. Okay. And then also I put on here how much of each item. Whenever I remember with Zaylen, they asked for paper towels, but they asked for like packs of it. I'm like, I'm bringing 1 pack of 3 or 1 pack of 4. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I saw Kiana said now a lot of teachers have their own registry, so people can assist in that route in case other children do not have supplies, which is a good idea, I believe.
And then, yes, Jeanette is. So that's in Artesia where they provide those boards and stuff. They do not use projectors. They stopped in middle school.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. So not that long ago.
And then Jeanette
girl, you are old.
Yeah, Jeanette is in Artesia, so you just helping your family members out, right? Because everybody in Artesia is related to each
Jeanette,
other.
Ron swears everyone in Artesia is related.
Yeah,
so.
I bet one of your cousins is a school teacher. I bet. Ask Jeanette, does her kid go to one of the family members as a school teacher? I'm just saying.
He says that, and anytime we see a short person, he's like, they must be from Artesia.
Yes. Overhead projectors, that used to be the thing back in my day. And then also the VCR player. Once you've seen that roll out, you had a substitute teacher and you was going to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Last thing I have for supplies is prices. Have the prices significantly increased?
Okay.
Right? Even in the last few years with all this inflation stuff going on.
Right.
Has it really increased, or is school supplies maybe one thing that they haven't really been affected?
Right. Because help me understand this. When I looked at school supplies in general, I went on Amazon. Well, I looked at school supplies and I went on Amazon, and Amazon has
FYI, guys.
66-pack supply kit, which includes pens, pencils, color pencils, protractors, this and the other. 66 supply kit items on a box set.
For how much?
Only costs
Give it to them.
$32.99.
That's not bad.
$32.99.
That is not bad.
So when I hear these prices about school supplies being $500, $600, what are they actually talking about? Have you ever spent $500 or $600 on school supplies that does not consist of school clothes or shoes?
No,
or uniform?
Never.
Right. So I don't know when they say these school supplies are
up
costly.
There. Like, are people now? I understand if you have like 4 or 5 kids, right? But for one,
4 or 5 kids, you're looking at.
Couple
let me do my math. $32.99 times 5.
We're making Ron use his brain.
15, $250 something, right? I'm just
Jeanette says my sister-in-law and niece are teachers, but not at my daughter's
You better
school.
stop that lying, Jeanette. You better stop that lying. You know they teachers over there and at Artesia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Does Artesia have a middle school? What's the
No.
middle school called?
No. So remember I told you Artesia has 4 schools. We have elementary 1st through 5th. And then we had intermediate school, which was 6th and 7th. And then junior high, which was 8th and 9th. And then high school, which was 10th through 12th.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of buffoonery is that?
I know.
Normally you have elementary school from kindergarten to 5th. Then you have middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then you have high school on after
now,
that.
guys, correct me again if Artesia has changed that too. And kindergarten. So yeah, kindergarten too is
It's separate?
Yeah.
Like a separate
You
school?
have a school which is kindergarten. Then you have elementary 1st through 5th, 6th and 7th is intermediate, 8th and 9th is junior high.
Artesia's just trying to employ folks. That's all.
All right. Crystal says that's pretty good because the school supplies you can pre-order through the school are like $65.75. Erica says my daughter leaves her stuff at school and loses it in the first 2 weeks. Oh, girl, that would be hard. And check the lost and found, but nothing. Even months later, things just stay lost and never found.
I remember I checked the lost and found. And I was like, "Yep, that's hers," and it wasn't even hers.
Really?
I'd be like, "Yep,
yeah, new sweater."
Yeah.
And then some kid approaches her saying, "That's mine."
That's my sweater. It got your name on the back. It said Clarissa.
B says, "Nope, still the same." So Artesia still has all those schools.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's going on, B? I haven't seen you in
Hi,
forever.
B.
Nice
I know.
for you to join us. But yeah, we had elementary school and then we had a middle school. Now I don't know what the difference is between a middle school and a junior high school. Is there a difference between?
I think it's the same.
Is it?
Just based off location of how they call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said y'all had a 6th?
6th and 7th, which was intermediate.
Intermediate to
and
what?
then junior high, 8th and 9th.
9th grade, you're a freshman in high school.
No, I know. No, in Artesia, you're not in high school till 10th grade.
Okay, so that's another question that I might have is when, if anything, because I know Crystal has Kyron and whatnot, at what age do you not have to buy school supplies?
He asked me that. I'm like, what do you mean? All the way until high school and even in college. What do you mean? What do you not?
Like
did you not
college,
buy?
or high school. When I was a senior, you had classes, and the classes require you, like, let's say you take like a math class. You know what you needed for math. You didn't. They didn't have a schedule.
Oh,
they didn't
you're
have
saying a list.
Yeah, they didn't have a list. So
Oh.
at what age, at what grade do you stop
I feel
getting
like
a
they
list?
still give lists.
Do they in high school?
I think so. Let's see. I hear you. My son loses his computer charger and I have to pay for it. That's a rough one because they're like $30 at least. B says, I definitely took some time to get used to it.
Okay.
Erica, Crystal Rodriguez, same. And Jeanette, I have a sophomore, freshman, and 3rd grade. Ooh, girl, you spending a lot.
What? A sophomore, freshman, and a third grader.
And never spend more than 100 to 150 on supplies, and that's aiming high. I buy supplies when they go on clearance, and I have a stockpile. Yes,
right. You see
that's
what I'm
the
saying?
smart thing to do. Is
okay.
Why wait through the school year to go buy a pack of pencils? On your next grocery run during the summer, grab a pack of pens and one more thing so that by the time you're back to school,
correct,
you kind of have like this supply, right?
See, what happens is a lot of times people buy these high-end products or supplies, and then the kid takes all the supplies to school or puts them in their backpack.
Yeah.
So then after a while, you got to buy a whole new 20-pack of pens.
Pencils, here's this,
just give them a select amount and then say, hey, if you run out, then you come back and get some more, versus you having the kid carrying all these supplies at one time.
Right. Well, and their backpack's full.
Right. But then again, if that's a high end and you spend 100 to 150, Is that
For
with all three
kids?
kids, or is that just for one child?
I think she meant for 3 kids. Okay, Crystal says, so each class right now requires our own supplies, mainly notebooks, pens, pencils, hand sanitizer, tissue,
ring
3 ring binders.
Right. So that's not $100 and something or $200, $300, $400, $500. That's about $80.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, is that per class? You know what I mean? Do you have to buy?
Crystal said per class.
Like
Granted,
notebooks
if
and
you
this,
buy
that, and the other?
paper, it's not like you have to be like, this whole pack is for math and this whole. I think as long as you have paper, right?
Correct.
All right. Jeanette says they go on sale in October.
All right.
Yeah. See, so like, go buy some stuff.
Yeah, but if you're looking at what you have to get initially, you got to get it before October, though.
Totally, but if you do it every year, right? Because you know that you have your kids for another however many years, and you do this regularly, then you have what she says a stockpile.
I would agree. I agree with that.
And then Erica says, I hit the Dollar Tree hard this year. Yeah, okay. See, they sell basic school supplies there. Yeah, that's a great idea.
If you think about it, the Dollar Tree, when I went to Walmart yesterday, and it was packed because I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't get the necessary items that they needed. But I passed by the Dollar Tree down the street, empty.
Really?
Yeah, there was nobody there. Huh. Everybody thinks that you just have to go to Walmart. You know, there's a certain amount. And they had a list. If you look up the list, especially like, I think KOAT or KOAT,
they do backpacks.
Well, no, I'm just saying one of them had a list of the cheapest, and I think it was Walmart, to the most expensive, to like
Target, probably. Target
or
Office Max,
some places like that Staples. To go to. So you decide how much you're going to spend and how much you are actually going, what you are willing to put in on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Erica says they have all that stuff. Crystal, score. How funny. Yeah. All right. So next is we're going to move on to clothes. Clothes right now have been so expensive to me, in my opinion. I rarely even shop now, or I kind of dread it because you spend more on clothes than you did before, right?
Right. So according to, when I did some research, Statista.com, and I don't agree with this, they say the average family spends $253 per child on school clothes.
That's cheap.
I agree.
That's cheap.
Depending on what type of clothes that individuals wear.
I just think of Kyron as, granted, he has like a large shoe size, but Crystal alone on Kyron's shoes spends $100, if not more, like $140, right? And that's just, and then now like one shirt, it's not no $8 like it used to be. It's like $35.
It is $8 on Temu.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying, y'all better rock that Temu.
Right? I know. I hope your kids are willing to rock the Shein and Temu and.
Yeah, but they say the average, and I'm saying school clothes, including shoes, they say is $253 per child.
I think that's cheap.
I want to know where that.
Who the people they surveyed came from.
Yes.
I'm sure Erica can agree. It ain't certainly in California.
No, $253.
Crystal says when he was in elementary school, $150 to $200 on school supplies. Crystal.
What kind of school supplies you
get? For one person?
For an elementary school kid?
You know what, though? Crystal's created a monster. Kyron is bougie, and he wants the high end.
Kyron said, I don't want this number 2. I want a 2+. Right?
Yeah.
I want a 2+ pencil. She says, no way, kids 7, it's more. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is from $253. On a regular basis, you spend more than that on clothing alone.
Crystal says, I would say about $300 to $500 on school clothes.
On school clothes, including shoes.
Including shoes, yeah. See, that's where I was thinking about $300 to $500.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And you can't now with the bullying and stuff like that. A lot of people just can't buy like basic buddy shoes.
We're talking about. We have that part. Don't go ahead. Brand name, pressure of having the best.
Okay,
so
I got you.
rewind us 5 seconds back and skip it. Okay, so also now some schools do have uniforms, right? So do you guys feel like it's cheaper to buy uniforms versus individuality clothes?
Right.
I feel like it would be cheaper in general because you're not having to buy the higher end. Maybe shoes, I think, would be the most thing that people would have to pay or care to pay when they have uniforms, because the shoes aren't, chosen.
Right.
But like the uniform, I think saves. Plus, you're not having to buy different things that your kid's into, or this or that. Everyone's the same. It's not like this competition as much.
And I did a research on that too, and they say uniform costs with schools can range from $25 to $200.
Okay.
What uniforms consist of is tops, bottoms, skirts, socks, and shoes, or pants. And they say young ladies spend up to, I think it's at 10% more.
Yeah.
Than guys.
That reminds me of that pink tax.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know, and I think when you talk about uniforms, when it comes to me, I think uniforms are good up to a certain age. And then once you become like a middle school or a junior high school, that's when individuals are starting to kind of form who they are. Yeah. And I don't think uniforms should be
part of the dress code.
Required after elementary school.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but when it comes to everyone being the same. Like everyone, you're kind of learning that.
It's not a fashion show.
Yeah, we are the same. You don't have anything better than me.
The thing is the focus isn't on what people are wearing. Hopefully, it's on like the education, right?
Yeah, but then again, on the other side of it, if I make individuals wear a uniform, then that cost is going to be added on to other expenses that I have to pay when it comes to sports or when it comes to
that's true too,
supplies as well.
I just thought of this. Is it less expensive to do uniforms? Because along with uniforms, you still have to buy them regular clothes like weekends,
Yeah, but that's normal.
Evenings.
That'll be normal. But you still have to upkeep your uniform throughout the course of the year, because I'm pretty sure if it gets like faded or tainted or spotted or whatever, you are required to maintain a pristine uniform throughout the whole school year. So I don't know.
All right. So again, prices, that's the next one. They've significantly increased, as I was saying earlier. A shirt that used to cost $8 is now like $35. Shoes have doubled.
Yeah, I see some of these kids spending $200 on a pair of shoes or $150 to $60 on a pair of shoes. I'm cheap. If you know me, I'm just not that guy. So I can't see myself walking around with some buddies on, and then I'm buying my kid some shoes that's $200.
So granted, I know I'm not in school, but the other day, me and some coworkers were talking. Was it my coworkers? I'm trying to think who it was. They had nice pants on, and we're like, "Ooh, those jeans look good." Oh yeah, it was a coworker. We were in Taos, and it was Jamie.
Okay.
And we were like complimenting her pants, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I think they're called mother's jeans or something like that, right?" And they looked really good. They told me they were $200. I'm sorry, for some jeans. I would never pay that.
What was that place I went to? I think it was Nordstrom Rack or whatever. And there was like $75, $80 jeans.
Yeah, Ron put it up did you see what they're trying to charge?
Yeah, not happening.
We're just not those people. Like every person has something they're willing to splurge on.
Clothes is not one for me. I don't.
Can I tell you, I'm not even like a purse person. I know there's people out there who do like Guess, or what is the
Guess?
There's
do people wear Guess jeans now?
I know Guess purses. They're cute.
Oh, Guess purses. I thought you were talking about jeans.
No. But what's the other Guess? What's the popular purse?
Purses? Coach, Dooney and Berg.
He knows because his mama is a purse person.
Birkin.
Yeah, like that. I'm just not willing to spend. My most expensive purse was a gift from his parents.
Oh.
Like, give me a Marshall's $30 because I like to rotate them. If I bought a purse for $200, I'm using that for 2 years.
Yeah, but you got some kids that go to school that's
with
got a
a
coach
say,
purse.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know it is crazy, but I just think that prices have significantly increased just in general. So
So that was what, brand names?
no, that was prices. So
Okay.
now we're at brand names, and our kids are so involved in the whole brand name thing
Because of the
compared
bullying
to
thing.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
You can't just carry around a regular anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
People really get on you about the name brand that you are promoting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have just a regular pair of shoes on, don't nobody want to get bullied over just a regular pair of shoes. They have to be like one of the name brands.
Like the Nikes, the Jordans,
Right.
yeah.
I didn't get a name brand pair of shoes until I was like in high school. Like I'm talking about maybe a junior in high school.
You know what? I have to say, my mom spoiled me and
Oh.
Crystal. Every year we had the ultimate clothes, the Doc Martin 3 pairs of boots.
What?
Like, yeah, she spoiled us. And again, now that we're older, I wish we would have known better.
Yeah,
we
but
probably wouldn't have. But that's what she did to spoil us.
I didn't. We didn't get my mom. I had some Levi shoes that was Velcro that you had to
Velcro.
Yeah,
like you
were,
were in second grade.
Yeah, my brother had some high top tennis shoes had a rooster on the side.
What?
I am not playing. Yes. And then she had bought me, I think it was like my junior year, she brought me some the Reeboks. When the Reeboks came out, the high top Reeboks, she bought me those. After that, I got my own job. For my first paycheck, I bought my mom a clock.
Oh.
I bought her a gift with my first paycheck, and then I bought some Jordans right after that.
Does she still have that clock?
She still has that clock to this day. Yes.
Jeanette says, "I'm dying laughing, Ron."
I'm just saying, I ain't have no name brand. I had stuff with it. One of my pair of shoes was called Zips. They had like a little zipper on it. You just zip the side on it real quick. You put some chains on the side or whatever. But hey, it was a rooster. My brother had a rooster on the side of his shoe, but he rocked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? It's the person that makes the clothes, not the clothes that makes a person.
Hey, back then I didn't care.
You know what's funny? Now I say that because I'll go shop at Walmart. I'm a Costco person. I know y'all older people are Costco people. I don't care. As long as it fits me and looks cute, I don't care if it's brand name. That's just not me. Right. But all right. So again, I was saying about like the pressure that kids feel right now because they get picked on if they have the generics.
That is correct. You know what I mean? Not everyone gets picked on, but there's a lot of times, depending on your circle of friends or the people that you hang around as youngsters now, they pay attention to what it is. Yeah. Your first day of school is your showcase. So you show up to the school your first day and you got some buddies on, some broke-ins, some no-name shoes on. They're going to call you out and record it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then now you're a social media joke versus back in the days when people really didn't care if you had some buddies on or not.
Also, last is pressure of having the best, similar to the brand names, but also I don't know if it was a movie or if it was a show or what, but I remember seeing this thing where this kid went to school the new year. They made fun of him because he had shoes from the prior year.
Oh,
like seriously?
Yeah, that's a no-go.
Maybe they weren't worn out.
When I was growing up, boy, you didn't rock the same stuff the new year that you did the previous year. Plus, it wasn't even in good condition. But I also grew up in an era where my brother's school clothes were my school clothes the following year because we have school clothes and you had play clothes.
Play clothes.
Yes. When you came home from school, you took your school clothes off and you put your play clothes on right away. You do not play in your school clothes.
Yeah.
But I'm over 50, so next.
All right. Along with all of these expenses, right? The necessities of school supplies and clothing, extracurriculars. Ooh. Can I tell you? I don't remember like sports and things being that expensive back in the day.
Right.
But nowadays I'm hearing that like sports, there's so much more you have to contribute. Even like dance, cheer, What else do we have? Band. And then
Yes.
along with those, right, they now charge fees. They didn't used to charge fees back in the day, or they were very minimal.
Right.
Now they charge fees just to even like get into it. And then travel, right? Sometimes if they travel, like I know like in high school, they travel to different places. They're maybe charging for some help to do that.
You know what? I am. If for those that know me or don't know me, I'm not from New Mexico. When I grew up and I went to the different schools, the schools supplied everything.
Everything.
Right? Like I played
Right.
football, I played basketball. They supplied my basketball shoes with the uniform, this, that, and the other. There was no expense.
No
when I came here to
right?
Albuquerque, I remember when
Hennessy.
Zay went. No, when Zay was playing sports, you had to buy certain things like his football.
Everything.
Yeah, like the
Everything.
helmet. This, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That is expensive, to buy all these items. If you played school ball in every school I went to, it was already provided for you. You just had to take care of it and hand it in at the end of the season.
Yes. Or if you lost it was when you got charged.
Correct, because you were responsible for it to return it in. But for you to have to purchase it, excuse me, I remember we had like shoulder pads in the garage for what?
Oh, so they let you just take it?
No, I'm saying for Zay, I remember he had to buy like his shoulder pads and stuff like that. Are you kidding?
Heck yeah, I'm gonna keep them things if I had to buy them.
And you sold them on, Craigslist or whatever you needed to sell them on after the season. But it's crazy on the expenses, travel expenses, this
and uniforms. Before uniforms were covered, I don't know if now that they're still covered.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Don't get us started on this club volleyball, club basketball, club, all of this. That's another
but that's club versus school.
Correct. I'm just saying it's outrageous because I remember being in individual sports outside of school or having Zaylen, and they were not priced at what they are now.
No.
Yeah. No. So.
Then I remember traveling with because I played youth sports throughout my whole youth years. My father was a coach for me, and the expenses is how you travel. Like you got to pay your gas and stuff like that, but everything else is kind of covered. But when it comes to sports, the sad thing is there's a lot of people that are very talented, but cannot afford
to be in a
sport, no matter if it's a traveling club or a school club.
Right.
And like I said, you have a lot of talent. So if they can't afford to play sports either after school and this, that, and the other, then that leaves the door open for them to find other things, which is normally like the streets or into some buffoonery.
Buffoonery. Yeah, so that's all we have for today. We thought that this would be a good one since the new school year just started or is about to start for you guys. I think like California starts, I want to say in June. I remember my cousin Peace always starting it in June. I could be wrong. You guys could have changed your stuff like Albuquerque changed, and I'm hoping it's for the better rather than for the worse. But so this was pretty interesting. Like I said, I mean, when we talked about the stats that we found, we were kind of like surprised again because we haven't had school kids now for a few years, and it's definitely changed.
Yes.
So this was an interesting one. I hope all of you guys stay sane during this school year, and I wish your kids a great school year. And
we'll even take it further than that. When it comes to the kids in general, when it comes to school supplies, I know some of you guys might know a family that is in need of a little bit of assistance when it comes to school supplies. If you know a family that is in need, reach out to us, either DM her or DM me, and we'll be more than happy to sponsor or buy school supplies for a child.
Yes, we would love to. Jeanette says, my kids are really frugal when it comes to school clothes shopping. Oh, good job, because a lot of kids aren't. They don't ask for a lot. They aren't into major brands on jeans and shirts, but we do splurge on shoes because my son has bad feet and they are huge. Oh, does he have big feet?
Got some size 13s.
Yeah,
boy.
I think Kyron's in a 12, so I can only imagine.
Just get 2 size 6s and put them together and glue them at the seam.
Don't listen to this guy. All right, guys. Until next time, again, if you have any suggested topics, please contact us. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and follow and subscribe to our channel. Yeah.
And if you are watching us on YouTube and you want to look at our previous podcasts, they're under the live version of YouTube. So just click on live. Every time we go live, it'll download to the live section of YouTube.
She says 11 and a half.
Ooh,
big enough.
Grown folks.
Right. All right, guys.
Until next time. Thank you guys for your support.
School year.
Yes.
Peace.